Last week, the security cluster filed an urgent application in the North Gauteng High Court to prevent her from releasing that report. It has since withdrawn that application. Today, the court will have to determine who will pay for government's action. We go live now to our reporter Dianne Hawker, who is in Pretoria for us this morning. Morning, Dianne. There's been some back and forth before getting to court. Just bring us up to speed on how we got to this point when our costs are the only thing being argued.
Well, last week, Friday, the security cluster and the Department of Public Works came to the North Gauteng High Court here in Pretoria, and they were basically requesting that the Public Protector be interdicted from releasing her provisional report to any of the other interested and affected parties. Now, that would most likely be those who actually complained about the Nkandla homestead development. What happened since then is this week, the Public Protector, as a result of a request for an extension, filed papers at the court, and yesterday Minister Nathi Mthethwa filed his replying affidavit, in which he basically said that there was no longer a need for the case to go ahead because he's had now enough time, and he and the other security cluster ministers have had enough time to look at the provisional report and come up with their comments, which he said in the affidavit would be submitted to the Public Protector's office today.
So does this mean, Dianne, then that the public will inevitably get a look at this report?
Well, not for the time being. What will happen is that the Public Protector is expected to, once she's received the comments from the security cluster ministers, then incorporate those comments. Their main concerns, which is what they brought up in their affidavits, is that they believe that there's certain information that's contained in the provisional report, which refers to classified information and issues of state security, which they believe should be taken out. It's quite a voluminous document. We learned from the affidavit that it's a 357-page report. It's been submitted to the court, but only on a confidential basis, and only the judges had sight of that.
Now, are we expecting a decision on who will pay the cost of this, or will this just be the beginning of a longer process?
Well, cost arguments generally don't take extremely long. It depends, though, on how intensively they intend to argue this matter. In some cases, there is an agreement that is reached between the parties even before cases go to court, that they'll agree to either pay their own costs. But they're coming to court today, so we do anticipate that there will be some argument. Not likely to be a long day in court. We could hear judgment today. All judgment could be reserved. It's all up to the judge, who will decide on that later today.
And who are we expecting in court today, Dianne?
I anticipate that the ministers and Public Protector are unlikely to be present. We understand that the Public Protector is being represented by Jeremy Gauntlet, SC. He's one of the country's most well-respected senior advocates from Cape Town. And we understand that the security cluster ministers will be represented by Advocate William Nkandla, also a very senior, very well-respected advocate. So it's likely that it will just be the lawyers and the advocates who will be arguing in court today, and obviously a very large media contingent.
News that moves. eNCA.com.